What you need to do is at the events, you need to go ahead and get reviews of you speaking. So at the end of the event, you want to have your wife or a family friend or a person you're hiring to come with you, and you'll say, hey, would you mind sharing on camera your thoughts about today's speaking event? I'd love to hear your feedback. And you film their feedback, and then you type in, you upload it onto YouTube, and you name it after yourself. So you would go in there and you would name the document as you'd say, like, John Tucker Speaking Reviews. And when people Google your name and speaking reviews, you will come up with good results. People will have positive reviews. And if you Google my name and type in Clay Clark Speaking Reviews, you can probably see 100 of them or so up there. And it's kind of fun, but over time you start to see the evolution of getting better and better feedback, and that's how you do it. So what questions do you have about this whole, I know it's a lot, and we'll dive in with more trainings as well, but what questions do you specifically have about getting into speaking?
That I think the biggest thing is just getting out there to, get in front of people. I've had opportunities over the years, but I'm not a good self-promoter, so that's a.
What is your? I shouldn't ask this, but I do ask it because that's what I do, and we'll edit it out if you're not happy with your answer. But what is your religious view?
I'm a Christian. Okay.
So as a Christian, so you got half the people are like, that crazy book, the Bible, what are you talking about, But anyway, the thing is as a Christian, you are taught humility, and I encourage you to get into the scripture and figure it out yourself, because I'm certainly not a biblical prophet, but I'll just give you something I think that you need to hear. Somebody here needs to hear it too, because even if you have a different religious view, you need to hear this. If you do believe in God or a higher power, you have to believe that the person who made the planet is excellent, or the being is excellent. You have to believe that. Right? God made the mountains. If you don't believe in God, then the Big Bang made the mountains. But something intelligent. I've heard this said by George Lucas. He goes, I don't really know, I'm not sure who God is, but he had to be pretty great to have made something so complex. If you just throw crap against a wall, nothing really ever looks good. And to think that the universe just came from that requires a little bit more faith than I have. So you have to, divine in design. But all I'm saying is, if that God or that being made the great planet, think about the most beautiful thing, the beaches in San Diego. With the snow-covered mountaintops, the Appalachians, the Rocky Mountains, Mount Everest, just wow. Japan, the life, just wildlife there, the Amazon. My wife and I went down to Brazil. Are you kidding me? It's gorgeous. Roatan. You lived in Costa Rica. Somebody who can make something that awesome, in my mind, would want, if you're a reflection of that person, would want what you're doing to be awesome. I think, God is excellent. And I think that if you're going to do anything as a representative of God, I think that anybody who has a religious view, who hopes to be a good representative of God, needs to make things excellent. Yeah. So what I do is, it was taught to me by a mentor. He says, listen, your work is worship. So I was talking to a person from India about this, and she goes, my work is my worship. So you won't have a problem with my work ethic. I don't work for you. I work for God. And I just was like, are you kidding me? And I see that in your work ethic. You don't really care what I think. You're working as unto God. I see that a lot. And so I think a lot of times we get it wrong as Christians is we go, God wanted us to be humble, and therefore I don't want to, promote my own thing. But I do think that you're not promoting your thing. You're promoting God's thing.
Right.
So you're not promoting you're promoting God's thing. And you're going, look, God's given me a certain set of talents. I want to share that with you. And so I always look at it as, if someone says to me, Clay, are you a good speaker? Someone asked me that 3 days ago on the phone. They said, are you a good speaker? I said, I am the best business speaker in the field of entrepreneurship potentially ever. And they said, they're thrown off by that. I said, no, I really am. And it's not by my own thing. God has given me a certain set of talents, and I've just worked as hard as I can, and I'm just using those talents. I can tell you I didn't used to be, but now if you book me, I guarantee it's the best. And they're like, oh, well, I guess you're confident. We'll book you. I hear that all the time. But I used to say, well, I don't know. I kind of, I'm pretty competitive. I'm okay. You got to get to a point. So then to say those kind of statements, you better back it up. So recently with Thrive, I didn't say this before, but I said it last week, said it 2 weeks ago. We are building the world's best business school. So someone says, you mean better than Harvard? Yes. You mean better than Cornell? Yes. Why? Thrivers who have graduated from those schools have actually emailed us and said, I've learned more on Thrive than I learned there. But we're not there yet. But we're saying we are the best. Now we got to live up to that hype. We got to deliver. So when you ask a question, we have to be able to answer it. So that's just something I think a mental breakthrough you're going to have is just kind of, and I would encourage you to maybe write an affirmation or find a verse or something you can sink into that states that, you do serve an excellent God and you do need to work as unto the Lord. And if you do that, Proverbs 10:4 states that God blesses the hand of the diligent.
Yep.
And diligence is the constant application of effort. So I think if you go in there with a diligent mindset, you're working as unto the Lord. And again, if you're not somebody who believes in God, you're kind of like Elon Musk. Elon Musk believes that he only lives once and he doesn't want to do anything he's not proud of. So same mindset, but you got to find a way to get there.